Right, hi guys, and welcome back to the Money Yorkshireman, and welcome back to something a little bit different on the channel. That's right, I have noticed that a lot of the big YouTube channels already, such as like The Race and the F1 Word and the other channel, who's the other ones? Not WTF1, the other guys that did WTF1. Yeah, they're all doing these 2025 predictions already for the Formula 1 season ahead, and I thought, I'm going to have a bit of that. I'm going to jump on the bandwagon. I'm going to get my udders out and I'm going to milk it for all it's worth. That's absolutely right. So, yeah, I thought I would offer my own insight into what I think 2025 will be. We're going to go with some predictions that I think everyone expects, and we're also probably going to throw in a few bold predictions there as well. So, I mean, the main one to talk about is I honestly believe that it will be a four-way fight for the title in terms of the constructors, but I do think it's going to be Ferrari and McLaren with the edge for that. Obviously, Red Bull, in theory, will only have one car again. I don't think Liam Lawson's going to adapt. I think he's going to struggle. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying that's how it's going to be. We've never seen anyone do well in that car, in that second Red Bull seat, since 2021, when Perez had an okay return to that season, didn't he? But even then he struggled. You know, he's never consistently put a season together and a campaign together worthy of Verstappen's calibre. Always struggled. It's just that the car's been so dominant in recent years that Perez was able to get second in the Drivers' Championship and things. So, yeah, I honestly think that Red Bull are fighting with one car. I honestly believe that Mercedes are going to be fighting with one car as well with George Russell. I think Kimi Antonelli is going to need a lot of time to get up to speed, more than we think we need. I'm not saying, again, that he's not a talent of the future. And I think in the odd race this season he will spring up a few surprises, but I think there's going to be a little bit too many inconsistencies. He's jumped straight into a front-running car, and I think he will make difficult qualifying mistakes which will set him back, and then in a rush to get through the field knock his wing off and things like that. So I'm not saying he's not ready for Formula 1. I just think he's going to take a few races to adapt, and it will be more inconsistent results from him. So I think that McLaren and Ferrari have got the best driver lineup in terms of consistency if they get their act together, the pair of them. I'm going to struggle to see how Hamilton gets on at the moment based on what he was doing last season towards Mercedes. Was it just he needed a change of scenery? He was over the Mercedes relationship and just wanted to get out of it, and that was why the lacklustre results were coming in qualifying? Or has he generally started that plateau now of his career and starting that nosedive back down to earth with a bang where he's just lost that natural edge? It will be a shame if it has, but Ferrari will tell. It'll tell instantly, won't it? You know, after a couple of races, we'll soon then realise how far away he is off Charles and if it is a concern or not. So that'll be interesting to see. And again, for McLaren, they weren't mentally ready, said the drivers and the team, for a championship campaign last year. Well, this year they've got no excuses at all, have they? They know they've got a good car. They know they can build a rocket ship. And they know that they've got two talented drivers there. But they need to extract the maximum out of it. No silly strategy mistakes. And from the drivers, they can't have any issues either. They can't be doing these poor qualifying performances. Lando needs to get his lap one sorted out. You know, from pole position and then all of a sudden nowhere after lap one. Can't happen. Can't happen anymore. Oscar Piastri needs to stop having these anonymous races where, you know, Lando's bottling it but still ending up on the podium when he should have won. And Oscar Piastri's like 5th, 6th, 7th. It's a difficult one, isn't it? So I honestly believe that the championship campaign this year is there's 4 teams up for it. I realistically think out of those 4 teams, we're probably going to see 4 drivers. Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri and Charles Leclerc fighting for the title this year is my bets, if they can all get their acts together, if the team can build a good car. And yeah, it's going to be a close run thing. If I'm going to pick right now, I would say if McLaren do get their act together, no strategy errors, the drivers are always on point, it will be a McLaren championship victory in the constructors and the drivers. But if they start making mistakes, I think Leclerc will sneak in there and wrap up a title. So we'll wait and see. So my predictions for that one is McLaren, then Ferrari, then Red Bull, and then Mercedes will be my top 4 at the moment. But we will wait and see on that. And again, this is really early days. We're not even done pre-season testing yet. So if they're absolutely shocking, then when I do my revelations for that, then we'll adjust them accordingly. But for now, that's what I can see it being, based on how I think they're going to approach the season for the teams. Slightly more of a prediction that's maybe bold. I'm tipping Williams will get a podium. I really do think they're going to get a podium. I'm not going to say that's outright pace or outright merit. I think Williams will spring up a surprise next season, a little bit like Alpine did at Brazil. It was the right conditions for the car. They timed the pit stops to perfection, or didn't pit when the red flag came out. I think a little bit of luck's going to have to go their way for it to happen. But with Carlos Sainz behind the wheel especially, I think that car can do some surprising things. I'm tipping it, let Carlos settle into the seat. Let him get familiar with the pace of the car and the one-lap pace and how far he can push it and the limitations of it in a first couple of races. And then from there, I think we can see more often than not Q3 appearances from it, regular points from that car. And like I say, I think given the right set of circumstances, I think Williams will get at least one podium this season. And I'm going to say more than likely it will be Carlos Sainz. That's my bold prediction right there. I think that there is opportunities for that midfield to climb their way into the top 5 positions if the circumstances go their way. But the way that Williams' approach just seems to be, they're always focusing on this season, and they've got the great asset in Carlos Sainz. I can see it being more likely to be Williams that will pick up the podium this season over everyone else. So we'll wait and see, but that's a bold prediction right there. Williams to score at least one podium in 2025. I'm not sure when it will come, but it just needs the right set of circumstances at the right time for it to happen. We've got 24 rounds. It could happen at least once. That's what I'm saying. My other bold prediction is that 2025 will be the last season for Lance Stroll within Formula 1. That's a bold one, I know, because of course he's there forever and a day. It's Daddy Racing, it's his dad's team, but I think Lance Stroll will have that bad of a season in 2025 that even his own dad has to admit that, look, I can't keep continuing this, son. I think you might need to go and enjoy your tennis. I mean, look at what happened last year. Just look at what happened last year. That was probably by far and away the worst season he's ever had. Maybe 2018 was slightly worse, but even then he had some odd good races there, I suppose, in a crap car. But I honestly believe that Lance Stroll, this is my bold prediction, that he will have his last season in Formula 1 this season before even his own dad has enough of him due to poor performances, crashing, out in Q1 while his teammates getting into Q3, not scoring points for the team and just generally being a bottle job. So I would say this season will be the last for Lance Stroll. Potentially very bold. Possibly highly unrealistic, but I can dream, can't I? Please just let me dream. My other bold prediction is that I think the Stake Kick Me Up the Arse Sauber squad with Nico Hülkenberg and Gabriel Bortoleto will throw up some surprises. I don't think they will be as bad as what they were in 2024. I think they've got a strong driver pair in there. They've got experience and they've got a rookie. I think that they will more often than not be fighting around for that 12th to 14th position, and then when a set of circumstances go their way, they will score points. A good strategic call, a right timing for a safety car, they can get themselves into the points. And if they keep developing the car, throughout the season, like they should be doing, but I think they are mainly focusing on 2026, then I think they could become regular point scorers as the season goes on. I think that'll be an interesting one to see how it plays out. But just look at the driver lineup and then look at how well Stake were doing in the last 3 to 4 races, particularly with Zhou Guanyu as well. Let's not forget that. Nico Hülkenberg and I'm sure Gabriel Bortoleto will be of better character and calibre than Zhou Guanyu already. So if they just give them the car that they had in 2024 into 2025, I think they can do some good things with that. So if they can adapt on that and build on that into the start of 2025, it might be a respectable car from the get-go, and I think we could see points finishes from them more often than not. Another prediction that I expect that will come as no surprise to anyone is I think Esteban Ocon and Ollie Behrman will fall out. If not, they don't fall out with each other, then Ocon will certainly fall out with the Haas team at some point this season. It's just hereditary for him, isn't it? He's fallen out with every team he's been with, every teammate he's been with. Sometimes it takes a couple of seasons, but I think this time around it will be right from the get-go. Ocon, of course, has been brought into Haas to be the team leader. I think as soon as Ollie Behrman starts matching him, rivaling him and beating him effectively, then he's going to spit the dummy out. We're going to have a kick-off. He's going to kick off with his teammate. He's going to kick off with the team. And he's just going to bring the whole morale down of Haas down greatly. I don't know why they signed him. I really don't. I'm not saying he won't have a good race here and there. I'm not saying he's not capable of Q3 appearances and points. He's good on his day. He's good on his day, but his attitude stinks. And as a Haas fan, I'm certainly not looking forward to seeing him in the car next year. I will be happy when he gets the results for the team, of course, to help with them in their constructors' fight. But when it doesn't start going his way, and when Ollie Behrman starts beating him, he's going to have a right old paddy, and we're going to see the morale of the team go down. We're going to see the results start to suffer as a result. We'll see him disobeying team orders and team instructions, and we'll just see him hampering their own races between themselves just for the sake of coming out on top against your teammate, as opposed to focusing on the bigger goal of points and better finishing positions. So, yeah, a surprise to absolutely no one, that I'm sure, but Esteban Ocon could potentially cost Haas this year a strong result in the Constructors due to his own self-entitlement and selfishness. And my final bold prediction that shouldn't really be here, to be honest, but I want to give him a bit of encouragement because I do feel really, really sorry for him. I'm going to say that Jack Doohan will survive the season, will last the full season at Alpine. The rumours that are already going around, of course, you know what they are. You know, Alpine have signed Franco Colapinto as a test and reserve driver. Williams have only allowed him to go there because they've promised him a potential seat in 2025, a guaranteed seat in 2026 is the contract clauses and things as to why Williams have released him as a test and reserve driver and not kept them for himself. So there's something in the pipes there, isn't there? There's something brewing in the woodwork that there's going to be something happening with Franco Colapinto during 2025. We've heard rumours that Jack Doohan has signed a contract to say he's only eligible to race in the first 5 races of 2025 before getting a review. And if he doesn't meet his targets, then he's out of the sport. Yes, I think it's massively unfair, to be honest with you. And I've got to be honest, I'm not in the Doohan camp whatsoever. I think he's a bit of an unknown quantity. He's never really, you look back at his single-seater career of previous, and there's not these, you've got the odd race of brilliance, absolutely, but to string a season together, he does tend to struggle. It's a difficult one, isn't it? But I want to have faith in Doohan, and I want to say that I hope he does a good job. I know he's not watching, I know he's not listening, but I want someone out there on the internet to at least give him some form of encouragement, because I don't think it's right how he's being treated, how the media are treating him already. Even if these are just vicious rumours, they're already going to be planted in his head now, aren't they? That, oh shit, if I don't deliver, I'm going to be out after the first 5 races. He'll overdrive in testing, he'll overdrive in the races, and he's more prone to mistakes then because he's got this at the back of his mind, or even at the front of his mind, all weekend long for every weekend he's taking part in Formula 1. So, Jack Doohan, I just think he needs to take a step back to take a step forward, needs to chill out, and just focus on doing the best job he can, and what will be, will be. We've got Flavio Briatore at Alpine, for God's sake. He will do whatever he wants, when he wants. If he falls out with Gasly, he could end up sacking him and sticking Colapinto in there. So it's not a total guarantee that this will happen. It's heavily rumoured. It's more than likely true, to be fair. But I want to give Doohan the benefit of the doubt, and I will say that he will last the season. I'm not expecting anything startling or stunning from him, but I will say he will do a respectable job. And I think if he can try and assist in Gasly, a bit like K-Mag was to Haas in the early phases of the season for the Haas squad when they were just squabbling over the few points, they can put Doohan on a different strategy, hold the rest of the field up, things like that, to ensure that Gasly gets the points. I'm going to say that's probably going to be the role that Doohan will play more often than not. But hopefully he can have his good days, he can have a good race, and he can last the season. So yeah, I hope the rumours aren't true, because I think it's very, very unfair. I know it's a cutthroat sport and all this lot that we keep calling it, but sometimes you've just got to think, how would you feel in that situation? You've just started a new job and then you're told, oh yeah, you're only actually employed for 5 weeks, and then we'll put you under review. Like, I know you always have a trial period, but yeah, more often than not, I mean, you've got to do something really wrong in a job, haven't you, to get the sack immediately. Your contract is like, you know, a couple of months probation and then you get signed on. So, yeah, you imagine being told that and constantly reminded of that by your neighbours, your friends, your family, that, oh, you've only got 3 weeks left to prove yourself. I don't think you've done quite enough yet. It must be burrowing away at him already. So I hope he can hit the ground running. I hope he can have a great season of winter testing. I hope he can do pre-season testing well. I hope he can get some good training sessions in, clear his mind, and just do the best job he can when he's in the car. So those are a few of my bold predictions. Let me know down below what your predictions are for the 2025 season. Were there any there that are not unduly bold? Are there some there that are just far unrealistic, such as a Williams podium? Let me know, let me know, let me know. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what you guys have put in your comment section. Like I say, I am very much just milking this because everyone else is doing it, so I thought, why not? Quick and easy video to do, and yeah, jump on the bandwagon. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and as always, much love.